Hi, my name is Martin Popoff and welcome to Overkill Reviews. This is my first time. Just a little bit about myself. I've worked at Banger Films on various projects. You may have seen me on Lock Horns. I'm just a metal journalist guy, worked on websites and magazines, and have done 70 books on heavy metal at this point. So if you want to see more of me or other reviewers, don't forget to subscribe. For my first review, we're going to be looking at The Rise of Chaos by Accept, out today on Nuclear Blast. And if you haven't heard Accept lately, check this out. So yeah, brief intro to Accept. They're a German band. They're basically considered the baby Scorpions, the sort of the second biggest band out of Germany. They have very murky beginnings back to 1968, possibly 1976, somewhere in there. They have a self-titled debut. They kind of work their way up to a big album in Restless and Wild. The big American breakthrough is Balls to the Wall, which has the hit single Balls to the Wall, and it had this big crazy gay metal controversy that kind of kept them in the news for a while. But after that, things seemed to drop off a little bit. Udo Dirkschneider, their diminutive lead singer, used to wear camos. He's eventually out of the band. They have kind of a fallow period, but they've come back now with Mark Ternillo, who's actually an American lead singer, and they've had 3 albums to date up until this album, and basically that puts us where we are now. So yeah, this is a band near and dear to my heart. I've interviewed them many times. I've written a book on them that came out last year as well. So yeah, let's get into the first track. First track we're going to hear is Die by the Sword, and it's a perfect album opener.
The balance of power, thing of the past. Anything human has been abandoned. We're just drumming so.
So there you go. Great opening track. Something I must mention with the band that I didn't talk about earlier is that Accept has put together these 4 records that sound very similar to each other, but they have gone through a major lineup change for this one. We still have Wolf Hoffman and Peter Baltes, original members who are writing everything. We've got Mark Ternillo, who's been an incredible vocalist for the band recently. But we do have the departure of Stefan Schwartzman and Herman Frank, replaced by Uwe Lulis, who has been with Rebellion and Gravedigger, and we've got a new young drummer out of Nashville, Christopher Williams, who looks great. He's got a big drum set and stuff. So that having been said, that's really the big change with this album. Die by the Sword, great opening track. This isn't a super fast song like with double bass and anything, but it's a great opener because it's a quick mid-pace thing and it's got a great chorus.
If you live by the sword, you will die by the sword.
So that was a great chorus, definitely. Also, the other cool thing about this chorus, number 1, it sticks in your head, but number 2, it definitely has that sort of Russian chanting thing Accept is known for that has endeared them to Russians. So Udo and Accept are able to tour Russia quite easily because of these very sort of Russian things going on. Of course, they even have an album called Russian Roulette. So there's an example of that. The next track we're going to hear is Hole in the Head, a little bit of a humorous track that gives us a little bit of Mark Ternillo's personality.
I need you like a prison term, like a ball and chain, like a spike into my brain.
There you go. That's a little bit of a different song than Die by the Sword. I think what we're hearing here is a little bit, as I say, Mark Ternillo's personality. It's a little bit humorous. It's a little bit of a classic heavy metal woman done me wrong song. It's a little self-deprecating. So, you hear the lyrics loud and clear. You get a little bit of a chuckle. But also it has that kind of marauding, low, kind of hypnotic riff that takes us back to the band's biggest single of all time, essentially Balls to the Wall. Let's hear another little clip of this one. Yeah, that was a cool clip. The reason I like that little piece of song there is that you are listening to kind of an amusing, good headbanging song, but also what you get here is the band's sort of patented classical arrangement. This isn't exactly guitar soloing per se. It's more like Wolf Hoffman is really into this classical thing. He actually just released a classical album recently. Accept is known for quoting directly classical composers. And so you get this fairly regularly, just like you get those Russian vocals and things. So there are these various trademarks to the band, and that's definitely one of them. Here's a track from later on in the sequence called What's Done Is Done.
Gave it all you had, but things just didn't turn out like you thought they would. Yes, you wanted it so bad, you'd do things different next time if you only could.
There you go, What's Done Is Done. It's a later track on the album. It's 7th in the sequence, and it just kind of is an example of showing that the album stays strong right through. An interesting thing about this record, there are no ballads whatsoever, but there's also some faster tracks, some slower ones, some with a little bit of a retro vibe to it. And this one is just kind of in that cool, Accept, classic Deep Purple, Judas Priest zone. Here's another clip from What's Done Is Done. I picked this for the guitar solo. Listen carefully. Really love this one because of the guitar solo. There's great guitar solos all over this record from Wolf Hoffman, but as you can tell from that clip, he is the ultimate when it comes to composing these things where it's a mix of high notes, low notes, great rhythms, great transitions, a little bit of composition. Wolf Hoffman pretty much is the greatest old school guitar soloist on the market today. All right, so how does The Rise of Chaos stand up? In particular, how does it stand up to these other Mark Ternillo albums? That's kind of the key point for any Deep Accept fan. I would say that it's definitely at the high end, if not the best of this quartet of albums. You know, every Accept fan kind of picks one of these that they're not crazy about. Stalingrad, I think, gets a little bit of abuse. But I just think that this record is probably the tightest and the best of what they've done. Andy Sneap has done a great production job again. Now, the reason I'm not going to give this 5 skulls is because of the thing every Accept fan is saying about the band at this point. They're almost too perfect. All the records sound very similar. There's no mistakes, there's no problems, there's really no eccentricity anywhere to this band. So if you want perfect, high quality, high fidelity metal with a great frontman, with a great soloing, great riffs, this is a record for you. But the Deep Accept fan is always going to be a little critical right now because of these albums all sounding a little bit too similar. And that's why I'm going to give The Rise of Chaos 4 out of 5 skulls here on Overkill Reviews. So there you go. Again, my name is Martin Popoff. Hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe. There's more Overkill Reviews every week.